What? That was good timing. What's going on, my little piglets? It's your BFF Pork Chop here, and I'm coming at you with entry number 16 of the June Vlog Challenge, which makes it June 16th, 2025. 16.
Chandler.
We have a birthday boy in the house.
He's my birthday boy.
This is Chandler. He is 8 years old. He is not going to school or employed, so I don't know what he's doing with his life. But
right now he's getting manhandled by his mom.
And he kind of hates it and loves it at the same time. But we got them each a toy, because when one of them has a birthday, they get a new toy. Each of them do. And then we got him a peanut butter, like, puppy cupcake.
It was so cute.
That had a happy birthday wrapper, and it had a candle. We didn't use the candle one. I think Chandler could probably
did let
blow it
him
out.
lick the candle off, but then he tried to eat it.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's like just like a literally like a
just throat punch
Oh
him
my
with your
God.
head, bro.
like a hockey puck of peanut butter and like a hockey puck of blue icing on top with sprinkles. And so yeah, there's the remainder of the toy that they have right there. But
Oh, do you want to be co-host today?
you wanna be co-host? Oh, are you trying to be like Chandler? Trying to be her?
Ow!
She keeps getting hurt. But yeah, it's his birthday, 8 years. We're so glad that he made it to 8 years, because at the beginning of the year it looked kind of scary there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Don't wink at me when I say that.
So, for those that don't know, Chandler, last October, like end of October, early November, quit eating. And we could get him to eat, but it took a lot of coaxing. So we took him to the vet, and the first thing they thought was a tick-borne disease, which I kind of dismissed because we don't have ticks here. They have never got, I mean, we have them in Texas, but our yard has never had ticks.
No.
And so I was like, I don't think so. Sure enough, they ran a tick panel and it came back negative. So they jumped to autoimmune condition.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay.
That's more likely, we thought.
Yeah, and I had a friend of mine who is a vet tech, and she saw my post on Facebook asking for prayers for Chandler, and she reached out to me and she was like, hey, send me his lab work, send me, the details. And so I did, and she said, yeah, you need to get a second opinion quickly. And I was like, okay. So thanks to her, we still have Chandler.
Yeah, thankfully. Thank you.
Yeah, we got him scheduled with a different vet who is now his primary, because she's amazing.
Yeah.
And she also thought tick-borne. And I showed her the labs, and she said, well, these are all the common ones for our area, but there's technically a few others that we can test for. But she also thought autoimmune, and both vets casually mentioned leukemia.
Which sounds scary.
So she said, let me work with a specialist. Let me get this lab work in. I'll call the internist. We'll see you next week. And let's at least get him eating. So they did. They put him on a really high dose of steroid. It did make him eat. It also made him a psycho. He's already a psycho, so you can imagine. But he quit losing weight, which it's not like he had gotten to like a malnourished weight,
not at all.
but he was still losing weight faster than he should have been. So again, my friend asked for updates, so I sent them in, and she showed her vets at her clinic, and they said cancer. And she told me, he's just not showing the symptoms of the autoimmune condition. And with tick-borne being negative, there's no masses in his stomach that they could tell. They did a CT scan, and there weren't any. So she said, I'm sorry, but my vets think it's cancer. And I was like, great. Well, we'll see what our vet says.
Right to think that way.
So we get there the next week, and the internist said cancer. At this point, she dismissed the tick-borne panel. She said, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to jump straight to figuring out what this is. He had low red blood cells, high white blood cells, and low platelets, which unfortunately can indicate leukemia. And so she talked to another specialist and other vets in the office where she works. They all also said cancer. She went ahead and kept him on the antibiotic for the tick-borne disease just in case, just to see. And we had to take him in weekly for blood draws to test his red blood cell count and his white blood cell count. And
I must be tired.
then we had to schedule an ultrasound, a laparoscopic ultrasound. No, what did they call it? It was an ultrasound, but they actually went, it was an internal ultrasound. They put a camera through a needle, which is why I thought it was laparoscopic, but now I can't remember what it was called. And they have a specialist that comes in and does that. That was a very hefty chunk of money, but we were like, it's the only way we're gonna know for sure.
Yep.
So we did, and there was some inflammation of the lungs and some inflammation of the liver, but that could have just been from the steroids, because he didn't find any abnormal cells or anything that really indicated cancer. There weren't any masses, there weren't any irregularities. So okay, we're gonna go forward with the autoimmune condition then, because probably not tick-borne. We did the tick panel. So if it is, and technically we still don't know what's wrong with it, or what was wrong with him. It took a very long time to wean him off of the steroids.
Months.
We had to take him in every week, and eventually it turned into every other week. And we slowly got him off the steroids. He's been off the steroids now since the first week of May.
Yeah.
And he has done fine. He hasn't shown any regression at all. He's eating more than he ever has before. He has never been a food motivated dog, but ever since that first steroid, now he's food motivated. Even though he's not on them now, he scarfs that food down like he's never eaten in his life.
This is crazy.
And he was never that way.
Nah.
Like, up until that point, if he was eating and you were doing something, he would stop eating because he wanted to make sure he was included in whatever you were doing. And when he was a puppy, we couldn't get him to eat. That's how I trained him, was with his kibble. Instead of training treats, we used kibble, because that's the only way we could get him to eat. He didn't care for soft food. He would turn his nose up at it.
Yeah.
He's a weird dog. So
He winked at me like, yep.
I started telling her about his history of stomach issues and how, it took us a little bit to take him to the vet, because he regularly would go off his food, even if it was just a day or two, but he would often stop eating.
Yeah.
He gets diarrhea if he looks at a food wrong. We call him Bubble Boy, because everything makes him sick. And so she said, well, that could be different times that the autoimmune condition was flaring up, and it just, this time got bad enough that it was affecting his blood cells, and you guys just caught it fast enough that we never saw the normal symptoms. And both vets that we took him to basically thought we were crazy for bringing him in, because they were like, this dog's fine. This is not a sick dog. And I'm like, nah, it's a sick dog.
And then again,
I know my boy.
Yeah, and again, he doesn't show, for the most part, when he's in pain or when he's, suffering of any kind. He's just always happy-go-lucky with his tongue sticking out. And, you know, so it just...
But
turns out he was all right.
Yeah, so now we get to play the waiting game. So either, we know it's not cancer now, but we went several months thinking that it was.
Hard few months.
Yeah, we didn't think we were going to get this birthday with him.
Yeah, so that's why I like 8th birthdays.
It's a pretty big one. But we still don't know. It was either an actual tick-borne that just wasn't on that first panel, and the antibiotic that she gave him worked, or it is the autoimmune condition and the steroids. So the way that they treat autoimmune conditions in dogs is they give them an immune suppressing dose of steroid, which is what he was on, basically. That could have kicked it into remission. It could flare up again. If it does, we take him in immediately, and then we know what to do. So until then, the only vaccine that he's had is rabies, because that's what's legally required. And we'll wait a year, and if he has no flare-ups, then okay, we assume it was tick-borne.
Right.
The other option, given that he has the stomach issues that he has, is it could be the dog version of IBS, which is actually incredibly dangerous in dogs because they lose so much of their nutrition. And so she said in that case, a lot of times it's just changing their diet a little bit, or like putting them on a medicated diet, or a very low dose of a steroid keeps it at bay. It just depends on what route we want to take.
Exactly.
But again, until he shows any further symptoms, we have no idea. So it was about $5,000 over the course of that time. Thank you, Care Credit.
Thankfully.
And it was the best $5,000 that we've ever spent.
Yeah.
Because we have our boy.
Exactly. And he's, you know, we don't have any kids, so he's our one of our children. Like you know, a lot of people are like, cringe, you know, dog parents. Blah, blah, blah. Well, when it's all you got, man, you try to take care of it. You try to elongate it as long as you can, while they're comfortable. What are you doing? And
then pretty girl back here, we thought she had skin cancer because she has a mass at the base of her ear. I don't know if you guys can see it, but oh no, it's on the other ear. Well, she does have one there too, but we knew that wasn't it.
I can see that. But
you might be able, maybe not, but it's probably the size of a quarter, a little bit smaller than a quarter.
I would say so.
And it looks pretty gnarly, and it keeps getting bigger. So as soon as Chandler was done with all of his mess, we brought her in. They did a biopsy. Well, they did a microscope. They just looked at it under the microscope.
No.
But there weren't any irregular cells, so she does not have cancer either. So I was like, awesome. So, it took us 7 months to figure out that both of our dogs don't have cancer.
Which is great.
But so we have to call, now that she's gotten all her blood work back and is a healthy doggo, we have to call to schedule her surgery to have it removed because it is bugging her. She scratches it a lot.
He licks
Chandler licks it. So they make it bleed fairly regularly. And it does. It bothers her.
Yeah, we could tell.
And she's too sweet to be bothered by that. Oh,
yeah.
Baby girl.
So, 2020.
Oh, thank you.
2025 was definitely, testing us with these two, but I mean, we
Thank
got
you,
it figured
Stingy. Thank you.
The only thing about the cats is, cats eating plastic. But
Yeah, cats like to eat plastic.
The vet said he's just an asshole. And he's
literally.
That, so.
We took him to the vet to make sure it wasn't like some kind of vitamin deficiency or something that was, I'm not throwing this.
It's like the size of a pear.
Like some kind of vitamin deficiency that made him do it because it makes him throw up, and he will throw up all over the house. And he hoards it. I straight up caught him taking a piece of plastic off the table and trying to walk it to his office, which is their bedroom. And he was just prancing around like he just caught a freaking mouse. He was so excited, and it was a little piece of plastic, and I was like, bro, cats. And he turned around and looked at me and dropped it and then ran away. I was like, for real. But yeah, we took him because he kept vomiting, and she did blood tests and then straight up said, sometimes cats are just assholes. And I'm like, well,
he's got a little cat's butt. He's a little asshole.
Amari is an old lady. She probably needs some teeth pulled, but for right now, she's still eating just fine.
Yeah.
And
then
Morty is perfectly fine. The only thing that's weird about him is he has a little bit of a leaky butt.
just spreading all y'all's dirty laundry on here today.
Yeah. But you know, I feel like none of the cats have anything that are really outrageous.
No. They're just, you know, like Morty's little brother syndrome to the T, like by proxy, and he's just always, you know, like, hey, like, I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you. Yeah, just straight up, he'll just stare at Amari, and Amari just.
Yeah, Amari hates him, and
Chandler.
he knows it. So he'll just walk up to her and stare.
And she's just like, what?
It's so funny. Chandler, don't make us yell at you on camera. Will you quit stepping on my foot?
He's all hopped up on sugar because of the cupcake, I guarantee it. So
it's like flashbacks to when he was on steroids.
He's just acting absolutely crazy. And could you not put your butt in my back again? Yesterday, I was sweating like crazy because her butt was square up against my back, and it was just radiating all the way up to the back of my neck, all the way to my forehead. I'm just like, whew. So thanks for that last night. Luckily, it's kind of cool tonight. So
what else did we do?
Well, we went to work. That's a thing. And then we came home and took her dad to his Father's Day dinner. He wanted to do it tonight, so we went to Cracker Barrel
because he's hyperfixated on pancakes.
Where we, stop me if you think you've heard this one before, got the new waitress.
She was so sweet.
She was sweet. She was like, I'm gonna let y'all know this is my third day by myself, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And of course, you know, like, I'm very accommodating. Like, I'm very, like, you know, I'm not. You treat your wait. You don't. Have you ever seen Waiting? The movie Waiting. Number one rule: don't fuck with the people that deal with your food. And you know, it's changing hands. It's the kitchen staff. It's the wait staff. So I'm growing up in the restaurant industry myself. I'm always polite to the waiting staff. So something happened. Where, like, I don't know, there was something happened in the kitchen. Somebody
it had to
quit.
have happened in the kitchen.
I don't know what the issue was because it wasn't that busy when we first got there.
No, it was by the time we left.
Yeah,
an hour and a half later.
Because we got there about a little before. Yeah, I was gonna say a little before 6, and yeah, there's a handful of tables, and then the time it took us to finally get our food, like everybody and their kids and their wives, and the table next to us had their dog, which I'm like, I don't know why that's a thing, but
well, it was
okay.
a service dog.
Yeah, but it was just like under the table, and it was like jumping up on the lap and everything.
Yeah, I don't think it was an actual service dog, but
it's like, and they were kind of a jerk to the waitress.
The poor waitress was getting reamed from other tables, and it was like, if you guys would just pay attention and look around for 2 seconds, you would see that this is not her fault. There is something going on in the kitchen, because for a solid like 45 minutes, nobody was getting food.
Yeah.
Except for like to-go orders.
Yeah.
But nobody in the dining room was getting food. There was nobody running food. Yeah, nothing. It was weird. No bread. Nothing. No appetizers. Like, nothing was getting ran.
And which, I mean, obviously it starts in the kitchen because, again, you know, that could have, like, you know, we witnessed, you know, with your brother, just an oven just decides to stop working, like a stove decides to stop working, or a person decides, you know what, y'all pissed me off long enough, I'm out of here, good luck, you know, that type of thing. It could be anything. Somebody got cut, somebody fell, like somebody, you know, whatever, somebody had a kid, like it could be anything back there that we know of. And so, again.
And the poor girl at some point when she came to bust the table with the dogs, she had totally been crying. Like, she was still sniffling, and she flat out told us it was her third day by herself.
Yeah, and I'm sure she told every table that.
Yeah, and she was crying. It was sad. And then, but, because I eavesdrop every single table that I can't help it, I hear everything going on.
Like a bat.
After she cleaned that table, the next table that got sat was her mom and her sister.
Yeah.
And so she seemed to pick up a little bit, and she still served them, and she was not giving them more attention than everybody else. Nah. But it was kind of cute because, like, mom was taking pictures of her, and at least I assume mom and sister. Either way, definitely family.
Yeah, definitely.
But they looked like her, so I feel like it was probably mom and sister.
and the table behind you, I guess one of the waitresses may or may not intentionally like snipe that table for a second.
Yeah, it was weird. They hadn't been waiting that long. And our waitress had said, I'll be right back. And she went to go get our drinks and get the to-go orders that the table with the dog was being weird about.
Yeah,
they were
demanding, like...
Kept using the F-bomb, not at her, but in conversation with her. And it was just weird. Like,
yeah, a little side story. They have a $5 like to-go meal menu. It's like 4 or 5 things. Very... This, like, you know, it's like with one entree purchase, you can, you know,
get the $5
you're allowed to have the take-home meal. And I guess this guy wanted like more than it was supposed to be.
He wanted 4. And there were only 2 of them. So only 2 entrees.
And so he's like, oh, we do this all the time. It's never a problem. Like, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, oh, no. This is what my manager's telling me, like, or, you know, somebody. And then she came back and said, good news, my manager says that you can have the to-go meals at $5 a piece. And then they
randomly ordered fried apple sides.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It was a really weird situation. Like, I've seen people get, like, rejected for less. There used to be a family that I went to school with, their daughter. And they would go in and do the restaurants like 2 for $20, and they would all 4 share it. And some restaurants actually started kicking them out, which I think that's kind of a gray area, but it's just like, you know, we have the right to refuse service for anyone. That's a thing. People forget that's a thing. And one time, legitimately, I'm sitting there at, you know, a booth with my grandma and I believe my dad. And the family comes in, and the manager comes out and says, and tells them to go. It was just like, whoa. And they weren't really poor. They were just stingy. It was just like, I guess, you know, to cut corners type of thing. It wasn't because they were like, you know, desperate or anything like that. It was just a lifestyle. And some restaurants are like, yeah, that's $20 and probably no tip. So it ain't worth it for y'all to come in, so bye.
But yeah, so she was running back and forth for that couple, and like could not talk to any of her other tables because every time she walked by, he would flag her down every single time.
Yeah, that was annoying.
But still, the people behind us had not been there for very long, and he had requested 2 more iced teas, so she went to the back to get them, and the other waitress came out and handed them to-go cups, which is not what he wanted. He wanted 2 more fresh iced teas. And she handed him 2 to-go cups of iced teas, which was probably her saying, get out of here.
Yeah.
But then she just randomly walked over to the table behind us and was like, has she been here yet? Like, being rude. And they were like, no, but it's fine. Like, they were nice about it.
Yeah.
And then, when she came back in, that couple was like, hey, she brought us to-go teas, but we still need our actual drinks, and actually just make it water. And she had the pitcher of tea in her hand, because that's what she went to go get. So she came over and refilled my dad and Colin's drinks.
Yeah.
And then went back for the water, refilled their water, and then went to the table behind us and was like, sorry guys, things are a little crazy. And they were like, somebody already came and took our order.
Yeah, like they brought us drinks and everything. Like,
and
it was like crazy.
She was like, what? And they were like, yeah, somebody already took our order. And she was like, well, like appetizer and drink order? And he was like, no, they took our full order. And we hadn't even ordered yet.
Yeah, so it's just like, again, like somebody just came in and sniped. I don't know.
It was super weird. And it was after that she came back out and said, yeah, she was just helping me out because things got crazy, so I am actually your server. Is there anything else I can get you while you're waiting for your food? Like, just clearing the air. And then she went back into the back of the kitchen. Like I said, everything froze for like 45 minutes. It was
just a standstill. Like,
but when she came back out to bust that table, she was crying.
Yeah, and then the table catty-cornered to us. The lady didn't get her right entree, and so she was like, this isn't what I ordered.
She had ordered fried catfish, and she got fried shrimp. But also, like, she I don't remember our server taking her order. It was the other server that took their order. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
And so, but she went in to correct it, and it was not getting done. We got our food and finished it, and they still didn't have their fried fish.
Yeah.
And so she told her, just take it off my ticket, we're leaving. And I was just like,
damn.
This poor girl, she's trying so hard.
Yeah, and then of course, we get all of our stuff, and it took a few trips to get everything, but
it's because my dad ordered two.
He ordered 2
pancake
dinners.
Breakfasts.
He ordered 2 breakfasts.
There were 4 so each breakfast was 2 pancakes, 2 sausages, and 2 eggs. And this bro ordered 2 of those, so he had 4 pancakes, 4 sausages, and 4 eggs. And yes, he ate all of it.
Yeah, he was kind of slowing down there at the end, but he's just like,
but he did.
Because at first they just brought him just the one order, and he's like, I'm not going to say anything. Like, it's no big deal, whatever. And then, like, as he's almost done with that first one, she comes out with the second version, and he's just like, oh. And he ate every bite. I was like, wow.
And he said something happened there, and I said, I think what happened is they thought she messed up the ticket, because who orders that for a 3-top? Like,
yeah,
it didn't make any sense.
It's supposed to be to go,
so
or,
I think they thought that she put it in twice, and when she came to check on us after the food runner brought our food, she noticed. And so I think she put it back in so that we could get it, because
she had to.
She was on top of it.
Yeah, for her 3rd day, she was really sweet. She was really, and then like I even, because dietary reasons, I requested sugar-free syrup. I did end up getting pancakes, and I haven't had freaking Cracker Barrel pancakes in a hot minute. And I was like, man, these are good. And so I was like, and then her dad was like, oh, I'm gonna get pancakes. I'm like, you know what? Screw it, I'm getting pancakes too. And
I did not. I got the campfire beef,
which she said was pretty good.
It was.
But yeah, I got the pancakes with 1 ham, 1 piece of bacon, and a sausage patty with eggs. So it was pretty. I thought it was supposed to come with biscuits and gravy, but I might have been thinking about the other one. But neither here nor there. It still was great. We came home, gave him his present and his cupcake for my cupcake. And then she came in here to work on stuff, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna work on my Lego set. So in an hour and a half, I got 5 out of 7 bags done. So I still have 2 bags to go for tomorrow, or whenever I decide to work on it next. And I'll definitely show you guys when it's done. I'm gonna show it to you guys, because I was really proud of how fast I was doing it. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Just wish this little guy right here happy birthday to the mama's boy. He's the definition of a mama's boy. I love this kid though. But anyway, guys, so that's all I've got for you today. Oh, also Wesley Apex, your comments were great.
What? I didn't read them.
He was like, I was born in '94, and then he was like, hey Colin, have you ever seen Smallville? He's like, hey Colin, it looks like you've lost some weight. Congratulations. I'm just like, thanks, man. Like, wow. He did like 4 of them back to back to back. Oh, and then he said that he said something about your red and blue hair was cool. So
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, but it's more than just red and blue, Wesley.
Yeah, it's just hard to see in the picture, but she did like a red, orange, yellow ombre on this side, and then this side is like a blue to turquoise. But in pictures and stuff, in the video, it does look red and blue.
Yeah, just red and blue.
Which is why somebody told me that they thought my hair was patriotic. I was like,
no,
thanks, it's gay.
It's gay. It's for Pride Month. Right. So, anyway.
It's not really, but it fits.
What she told me was rainbow. I was like, perfect month to do it, absolutely.
I mean, it can work both ways.
Absolutely.
It can have double purpose.
Definitely. So, if you guys could please subscribe and become a piglet if you haven't already, greatly appreciate that. Up to 4,060 last time I saw.
You still haven't decided what you're doing for your 4,000. You kind of got to figure that out.
I got to figure that out because I'm running out of time.
Yeah, a little bit.
But, I mean, if anything, I could probably just push it off to a 5K so I have more time. I don't know.
No, because
we'll figure it out.
You said that you would do 4K. You have to follow your word.
We'll figure it out.
Even if it's a $5 Burger King coupon.
Yeah, Burger King. Like, one of y'all send me your address and I'll send you a Domino pizza, like, or something. I don't know.
Whoever wins.
Whoever wins.
Whatever subscriber.
But yeah, whatever Piglet. So we'll figure something out. Like, we haven't really had time to
I
iron
don't know
out
why
the
you're saying
details.
we. This is your
Iron
channel.
out you're the one that brought up the trophy and everything. You broke yourself into this, so don't even.
It's
So,
my fault I have good ideas.
all right, y'all. Thank y'all so much once again for dropping by. And always remember, my little piglets, Colin Porkchop loves y'all the most. So y'all take it easy, guys. And we will see y'all. Even the birthday boy will see y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.